All right, guys, if you're ready. All right, open up questions for our players.
I can start now if you'd like it. Yeah, I just want to start a little bit about the nature of this game. Obviously, a big one coming into it, an undefeated opponent. I believe the official attendance they had 3,800 plus in the building, a big-time atmosphere. When you come into games like this, do you take anything extra away from that, or when you look at it as a game-by-game approach, I guess, how do you all really conceptualize that as a player with the big-time game and then the attendance and everything going into it?
Just treating it like any other game. Another team in the MAC. MAC's good, so it's good that they were undefeated. But you also have a lot of energy going into it, knowing that you're playing a team that hasn't lost yet. You want to give them their first loss. With the good crowd, it is definitely helps. But just treat it like any other game.
Coach talked a lot throughout the season about defense being a big priority for you all. As you all settle into MAC play and as it continues to progress, how big of a point of emphasis is the defensive side of things for you all in terms of getting to where you want to be as a team this season?
We want to be one of the best defensive teams in the country, and during the first half, that just wasn't us. But I feel like we'll lock in, do what we did second half every single game, and we'll be okay.
You all have had some really strong defensive performances throughout the year. I'm curious from your players' perspective, what has gone into that effort, and when you do have those successful outings and maybe some things that you've seen out there to get the best out of the team defensively?
Just doing what we're supposed to do, doing what we're taught, trusting each other, and taking defense personal. Pride yourself in defense, knowing that it'll lead to offense. And it's fun. Once you get stopped, it's fun celebrating, getting shot clock violation, that type of stuff is fun. So just staying together.
You talked a little bit about it, just a slow first half offensively. What kind of did Miami throw at you, or what just kind of happened that kind of got that slow start out the gates?
I feel like we had a lot of good shots. We're in the gym every day, so those will go in, and also just getting paint touch, kickouts. We'll do that.
And then the rebounding battle lost 34-24. What does it mean just to lose kind of that by 10, a margin of 10?
Definitely hurts. Rebounding, I think, is something that our team tries to pride ourselves in, so I think it's definitely a downfall when we lose a rebounding battle by 10 points. And I think that, we need to focus on that, especially with the rest of the MAC coming. I think we want that to be like our headstones, that we're a good rebounding team. So definitely got to go back to the drawing board and make sure we do good next game.
And 16 for 23 from the free throw line. Just the struggles from the line. How did that really impact the rest of the game?
Shots fall sometimes they don't. It's basketball, so I don't think it really impacted anything. I think everybody still stayed aggressive, still trying to get to the line. But just sometimes it's your day and sometimes it's not.
Javonte, you mentioned how in the first half defense wasn't really going there. What did you kind of see out there that really helped you guys to turn it on in the second half and then almost come back?
Communication, just being physical, sitting down and wanting to guard.
Coach, if you'd like to start with an opening statement, then we can open up for questions.
Yeah, not a frustrating game. Obviously, we got our guys in foul trouble early, and I think it really kind of took us out of our rhythm with some of the lineups and some of the things that we had planned to do. So then we're making some adjustments, and Justin kind of going down, took another key piece out, and so you're kind of changing some stuff on the fly, and there was a 15-minute stretch there in that first half. We just weren't very good. We didn't make shots. We had some good shots, didn't make them. We turned it over, some uncharacteristic turnovers. And when you play a good team, you don't have that margin for error. And, we hopefully, there's an unbelievable crowd, great energy in the building. And hopefully they stay behind us and see that, there's good portions of that game where we can be pretty darn good, and it's a team worth following. So we certainly appreciate the crowd.
Did you learn anything from this game? How maybe you can beat them the second time?
Yeah, without question. Obviously the second half was much better look. Tale of two halves. We scored 55 points in the second half, and followed a little bit more of the game plan, a little bit more of the pressure, but. We executed a lot better. In the first half, we just we just weren't crisp. Things weren't executed, but not at a 10 out of 10 level. And so you kind of learn the teams like this that are so explosive offensively, and you make a mistake, even if it's half second, they're gonna score. And so hopefully, I think they learned within the game just the level of attention to detail that you have to have, and so that was a positive that they were able to at least adjust on the fly.
You ever think about the way this team is built, maybe full court press right from the get-go? Maybe not against everybody, but
It's a tool we like. It's a tool we like. The pros and cons with it, there's so much shooting in the league, is that as teams start to break it, you run the risk of giving up threes, and then also, you get guys in foul trouble, and so, it's a give and take, and I think it's probably one of those things when games where we're not making shots from the perimeter like today, that's going to have to be our go-to. In the days when those shots are falling, it's a little bit different story, but I think there's some truth to that.
46 points in the paint tonight. What did it mean to just get down into the paint, to get that offense really supplemented?
Yeah, and first half it wasn't nearly enough. We thought that was an area that we could get to and finish in the first half. I expect particularly in that 15 minutes. There were a lot of layups we left on the rim, and you can't do that against a very proficient offense. So that hurts you. That hurts you, and so we did a much better job just slowing down and finishing the second half.
Struggled from the three, 5 for 22 today. What does it mean, though, that you can fight back into these games even without the three-point shooting?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to find some consistency. Obviously, our 4 losses on the season have all been games where we have not made shots, and it's not for lack of good shots. We've got to step up and knock them down, and then there's other games where we're very proficient. So it's kind of one extreme or the other. We've got to find a middle ground and figure out how to make shots, here at the Stroh Center, because a couple times it's been here in some big games. So we've got to be able to knock down these shots, because that floor gets real crowded when people start leaving everybody open.
Just speaking a little bit on the three-point shot on their end, one of the best, teams in terms of shooting percentage from deep this year. They hit 7 there in the first half, then finish 11 of 23 overall. I'm curious from your perspective, the defensive effort in trying to contain that three-point threat from Miami tonight.
Yeah, I mean, unacceptable job in the first half. Wolford gets a couple. He statistically hasn't been a shooter on the year. That was a shot that we were willing to live with based on the percentages, and he knocked a couple down to his credit. But the rest of them, is way too many gaps. Playing back, bad switches, losing guys or in transition or over helping. And this team's the best three-point shooting team, arguably in the country, and you can't do those things. And we worked on it for 4 days, and the game sometimes the game's fast, and guys started to learn what the margins of victory are with that. And I mean, they averaged 12 threes a game. They got 11 and still scored 93 points. It's a heck of a team. And but more disappointingly is just how much we fouled. Right, wrong, or indifferent, whether we agree or not, we can't foul like that.
I'm curious on your end also, just defensively on the season as a whole has been a big strength for the team. When the defensive results have been there, what have you seen that has gone into allowing for that success, and how important might that be going forward into conference play?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of the deal is we have to keep our matchups that we prescribe. And when you get in foul trouble now, Javante's, maybe not on the ball. You have to move him because he's in foul trouble. So even when he's on the floor, you're not trying to put him necessarily on the best player because you're trying not to get another foul on him. And then, Justin Thomas is one of the best perimeter players. He goes down, and then, you're starting to mix and match, and all of a sudden you got all kinds of crazy matchups out there. And we've got to be able to keep guys on the floor and keep matchups that we want.
Then I don't have the stretch in front of me, but I believe there's Akron coming up, Kent State as well. Got UMass in there. Seems like another big stretch for you all in the upcoming conference slate. I guess anything you're looking for out of the team going forward, and what might be some point of emphasis as you go throughout this early stretch?
Yeah, I mean, we we drew the really short end of of the stick with the, maybe the first time in history that the first 5 games in a conference are against the 5 preseason pick teams and 3 on the road and 4 in 11 days that we got, with the Akron game moving to a Friday. I mean, it's an absolute murderer's row of games. And right now we're 1-1 through it. We got 3 huge ones. You go at UMass, at Kent, and Akron here is an absolute monster of a stretch that we've got to buckle up and try to find a way to do our best.
Yeah, we've mentioned it, but obviously in the first half, a struggle from the free throw line and three-point line. What do you kind of attribute this to, and what do you take from this?
Yeah, I mean, the free throw line thing we've actually been a solid shooting team from both areas, but as we've seen before, we've had a couple bad shooting performances from 3 in this building, and these guys live in the gym. They shoot like crazy. They already got their shooting times for tomorrow morning, and the guys want to get back in the gym, and it ain't for lack of shots. We shoot a million free throws in practice and the whole thing, and we've got to be better. We've got to be better, and we want to be at least a 75%. And you're a couple free throws off of that by the end of the game, but you can't start 2 for 7, and you can't only get to the free throw line 7 times and a half either. Like, that's not. We're an attacking team, so we've got to do a better job of drawing fouls, in addition to not fouling.
And then we also mentioned, like, on the offensive end, kind of your players looking kind of uncomfortable, getting doubled, and then not being able to find the open man. What did you see there, and then what adjustments did you make that would lead to them navigating it better and then looking much more composed?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted the doubles, and we had some looks that came out of it. It was hard. There was so much clutching and grabbing off the ball, so cutters weren't really able to get open off the ball, which kind of changed the scheme a little bit of what we go. You go game to game. Sometimes you're getting those, sometimes you're not. And but we went into it hoping that we could exploit that, but I think the level of physicality kind of took it out of it, so we kind of just went away from it a little bit. But then the other times we did a really good job, especially in the ball screens where we got that ball out of there quick and capitalized with some good baseline drives and some layups.
Yeah. And then obviously coming back in the game, you guys only lose by 10 and then win the second half 55-39. You've mentioned many times the grittiness of this team, but what does it mean to see how they truly do never give up and then their effort along the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, they left everything on the floor. I mean, playing hard has never been an issue for us. You want a little bit more focus. You want a few more shots to go in and those type of things. And but at the end of the day, the play hard stuff is been 10 out of 10 with this group, Monday through Sunday. I mean, it's never been an issue in practice, and sometimes we're scaling it back, just because of their intensity. And I attribute that to some good leadership amongst the guys. And they really want to win. They care deeply about it. And sometimes you press and it doesn't quite get what you want, but I'll live with this team's effort every day.
Any other questions for Coach? Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.